Quick warning before we begin. This video is not for the faint-hearted. If you believe the world is only kindness and love, this might not be for you. Today we will expose a dark truth buried deep inside the human mind. This video will take you into the shadowy realm of dark psychology, where words become weapons, body language is a tool, and people quietly seize control of others' minds. If you're ready, let's begin this dangerous journey. But remember, use this knowledge responsibly. In this episode, you'll learn 20 dark psychological tricks that can not only help you influence others, but also reveal how someone might be trying to manipulate you. This is the first part of our series diving into human psychology and manipulation. And yes, at the end of the video, I'll share 3 books that can fundamentally change the way you think. So stay with us until the very last second. Don't step back when someone glares. Step in. Quietly moving to sit beside an antagonist changes the physiology of the whole scene. Their torso must rotate, their gaze shifts, and the aggressive energy loses its anchor. Proximity creates intimacy, and intimacy neutralizes rage. What was public hostility becomes awkwardly private. This small physical move collapses tension without a single word and buys you the psychological upper hand. Frame your point as inherited wisdom and you shortcut skepticism. A casually dropped line like, "My grandfather used to say," or "I was taught this as a kid," wraps your claim in perceived age-old truth, and people lower their guard. It's not about being honest, it's about leveraging social heuristics. Humans respect authority and tradition. Use this to seed ideas that otherwise would face resistance. If someone dislikes you, don't try to charm them. Ask for help. A tiny request forces cognitive dissonance. If they do you a favor, their brain resolves the inconsistency by concluding they must actually like you. That mental reframing rewrites the relationship. One small favor creates psychological momentum. The enemy becomes, step by step, a reluctant ally. Want to know if someone was watching you? Yawn in front of them and lock eyes. Yawns are contagious. When they mimic it, you have proof they were focused on you. This is a primitive, almost embarrassing litmus test for attention, and attention reveals intent. Use it casually. The result is information with zero confrontation. Create a high arousal memory and link it to yourself. Shared adrenaline, a sudden scare, a wild ride, an intense experience, cement social bonds in a way polite conversation never will. When the heart races, the brain marks the event as important, and the faces present become forever associated with that intensity. Want someone to remember you? Give them a moment their body won't forget. The brain overweights beginnings and endings. Whether it's a pitch, an interview, or a date, place your strongest content at the very start or the very finish. The middle will blur, but the first impression and the final note are burned into memory. Design your entry or exit like a bookend. Make it unique, specific, and emotionally charged so it lingers long after the moment passes. When you subtly match someone's posture, tone, and tempo, their unconscious perceives similarity, and similarity breeds liking. The catch: mirrors so small they never notice. A micro tilt of the head, copying the rhythm of their speech, or echoing a hand gesture signals, "We are the same," to the listener's primitive brain. That signal fast-tracks rapport and makes people drop walls they otherwise would hold up. Tiny somatic cues shape huge judgments. Cold, clammy hands read as weak. Warm, dry hands read as confident and composed. Before a handshake, rub your palms or breathe warmth into them. It's a small, almost invisible hack that primes others to see you as steady and in control. First impressions are physiological. Prep the body and the mind follows. Watch who people look at when a group laughs. It's a map of loyalties. In any social circle, laughter is a spotlight that shows who's aligned with whom. By tracking those glances, you can quickly decode unseen alliances, influencers, and the hidden center of power. For someone trying to navigate or shift group dynamics, that tiny observation is gold. When the room tightens and voices rise, start eating. Bringing food into a charged moment signals safety and normalcy. It dissolves the invisible heat. That simple act changes the emotional register. Hunger fulfills, chewing relaxes, conversation softens. Historically, sharing a meal is peacemaking. Use that human rhythm to cool arguments without moralizing or debating. Gaslighting is the slow demolition of someone's reality. Deny, confuse, and contradict until they begin to doubt their own mind. Move a small object, then insist it was never there. Label confident memories as "you're remembering wrong." Over time, the target defers to the manipulator's version of events. This is damage, not a trick to toy with. Learn it to recognize it and to protect yourself or others. Shock someone with relentless affection, attention, and praise, then vanish. The emotional void makes their longing an addiction. Your return becomes a reward so potent it rewires dependency. It's theatrical, exaggerated warmth, followed by strategic absence, then dramatic return. The roller coaster creates desperate closeness, and that manufactured need is the manipulator's leverage. Introduce a third party and lavish them with attention in front of your target. It's a quiet form of emotional sabotage. Jealousy, insecurity, and comparison are engineered without explicit conflict. You don't need to insult or attack. Just reallocate attention and watch emotional currency shift. It's social chemistry weaponized for control. Silence is pressure in disguise. When you stop filling the air, others rush to fill it, often revealing more than they intended. Use strategic pauses after provocative lines, ignore bait, or refuse immediate answers. People will over-explain, confess, or reveal weaknesses while trying to restore balance. The quiet cornerstones, the loudest confessions. Mask coercion as moral concern. You always, or you never, pierces self-confidence and converts resistance into guilt. Accusatory framing weaponizes conscience. The target apologizes, adjusts, and complies to stop the internal pain. It's an emotional pressure valve. Open it and you can steer behavior, but beware, it destroys dignity in the process. Turn blame into virtue by twisting motives. I was harsh because I care, or I interfered because I'm protective. Reframing flips the moral script so the manipulator becomes righteous and the victim looks unreasonable. It's rhetorical alchemy. The same act shifts from vice to proof of devotion. Master reframing and you steer moral judgment. Fear short-circuits deliberation. Threats, dire what-ifs, and scaremongering force rapid decisions by hijacking the rational brain. Marketers sell with fear. Manipulators do the same by amplifying worst-case scenarios to make the safer option seem like the only option. Spot fear-based pushes and pause. That hesitation is your resistance. Feign helplessness to harvest sympathy. That softened posture draws caretaking, excuses behavior, and lowers suspicion. People give what they can't stand to see withheld: comfort, forgiveness, and concessions. When pity becomes currency, it buys obedience. This is emotional theater dressed as truth. Don't confuse performance with integrity. If influence slips, escalate to threats. withdraw resources, reputation, or emotional safety. Threats compress possibilities into comply or lose, and many will surrender rather than risk the unknown. But threats fracture trust irreparably. They work as blunt instruments that solve immediate resistance at a catastrophic social cost. Mix and overload. The ultimate manipulation weaves praise, fear, guilt, and reward into a repeating loop. Love, then scare, then console, then withdraw. A cocktail that scrambles judgment and exhausts moral anchors. Over time, the target's inner compass breaks, and they anchor to the manipulator for orientation. This is the architecture of long-term control, complex, subtle, and devastating.